And welcome to hour 9 of our all-day marathon as we're here trying to raise funds to support youth in our Connecticut Yankee Council programs. We are going to be talking about Exploring, which is a program that's been around really since about the late 60s, and Paul Lucas will be back talking about that. We'll be getting with him here in a couple minutes. A lot of people aren't aware of Exploring. It's a career education program for 14 to 20-year-olds, and a lot of opportunities for youth to get involved in that. So I did want to, as it's the 5 o'clock hour, I know a lot of people are making their plans for dinner, and we do have some restaurants that are participating with us. So hopefully you'll will go visit them. That's Texas Roadhouse in West Haven, Chili's in Milford, and Pepe's Pizza in Fairfield and Danbury. Offer, if you go in and say you're there for scouting, they will give us a portion of the proceeds for your meal. This is also our first go-round with a pair of tickets on Avelo Airlines. So between now and the 6 o'clock hour, the first person who calls in and makes a pledge of at least $1,000 will get what I call fully loaded Avelo tickets. This not only includes 2 round-trip tickets anywhere that they fly, no blackout period, also includes all incidentals, including luggage and all of that, so it's a great deal. So we're looking for the first folks that are going to do $1,000 or more. You can dial in to Karen. Karen's waiting patiently by the phone, 203-951-9321. You can go online and you can hit the Donate Now button and we'll get notification on that. Also, anybody that does $500 or more will be put in the raffle for the basket that we have, which includes a 7 1/4-inch circular saw, breakfast at Christie's in Madison, 2 hours of bowling at Bolero, and the $5 $10 gift cards for Saugatuck Treats. So hopefully we're going to get those all. We're going to get a lot of donations this hour, and hopefully you guys keep Karen busy on the phone. She's looking a little bored over there, so we want to keep her busy. So at this point, we're going to do a quick photo montage, and then I'm going to make my way over, and we're going to talk with Paul. And then when we're done with that, we're going to show you a video that was produced as part of our Aviation Exploring Club that was started this past year in our partnership with Avelo Airlines. And we are back, so hopefully you enjoyed that photo montage of some exploring posts that we have. I'm back here again with Paul Lucas. Paul, again, is our our older youth programming director, which includes Sea Scouts and Venturing and Exploring, and we're going to talk about Exploring. So Paul, give us a little overview of Exploring.
So Exploring is a very important program that comes under the umbrella of the Boy Scouts of America. As Mark mentioned before, it's been around for quite a long time, over 50 years now, and it really is designed to address needs in the community and needs among youth of high school age in particular for career discovery and workforce development. So it's something that has been going on really successfully all over the country. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people have benefited from it. And what really makes it work is what we're doing is we're matching the interests of young people with the businesses and organizations in those communities that have an expertise in that subject matter. So, one of the best known examples of Exploring, of course, are, emergency services and fire department services, which has been a hugely successful way of developing a next generation of firefighters and EMS workers. But other industries are in dire need of it as well, one of which that we've been working with quite a bit here is the aviation industry. It's an area where a lot of young people have a tremendous amount of interest. They're curious about it, but the path, how do you get into aviation, and what are your options, and what are the possible, there's a lot more there than even just being a pilot. I've heard numbers as high as there's 600 jobs for every pilot in the industry. So exploring is a way for young people to discover those paths, to find out what it means, what the requirements are. It's also a great way for the industries that we work with to get to know young people, to nurture an interest in their areas of specialty, and to really nurture, educate, and develop that next generation workforce, which is in dire, dire need in a lot of industries right now.
Yeah, Paul and I have been in many conversations with employers, and we know that if you're an employer, you are desperately looking for workers, especially if you're in the manufacturing sector. And that's where really exploring can play a key role, because if you think about the fact that you can bring in these young people as early as age 14, they can learn about what you do and actually have hands-on experience on a monthly basis, and then when they turn 18, they're ready to join the workforce. So I think that's pretty critical. I know you had brought up the aviation. I know you had gone last year down to a conference in Washington, D.C., that was dealing with the aviation. Talk to people about what they were telling you about the need and where that gap's.
Yeah, that was really, jaw-dropping, eye-opening for me. The conference in Washington, D.C. last year was for repair stations within the aviation industry. So like we were saying before, there's a lot of jobs other than just being a pilot. Repair stations is one of them, where, when aircraft need to be repaired, when components need to be fixed, where do all these parts come from? One of the things I learned while I was there is that as an industry, the aviation industry anticipates a massive workforce shortfall of 40,000 aircraft mechanics within the next 4 years. I mean, this is an urgent problem. And there are a lot of young people for whom this would be a great career. They would do well at it, they would succeed at it. But the biggest barrier is that they don't know that that's an opportunity for them. And what we're doing is really helping to introduce them to those opportunities and helping them find the pathways to explore it, discover, learn about it.
One of the things that Paul and we had a meeting just recently with the Connecticut Manufacturers Association, and one of the things that we're working with them is try to get the word out to the manufacturing sector about exploring and how we can help them. We have the program. If you're an employer and you're having trouble finding employees, we have the program. As Paul said, it's been around over 50 years, and it's a proven program. Paul mentioned most people remember it from the days when it was about police department and fire department, but it really covers the whole spectrum. It can be an accounting, it can be an attorney, it can be hospital, it can be manufacturing, it can really be anything.
Skilled trades, yeah.
Skilled trades, and really I remember several years ago having a conversation with a company that built coal barges, and they couldn't find welders. And they said, we will train them, and you're talking about starting somebody out at six figures.
Right.
And I think for a lot of kids who don't plan on going to college, they really don't know about these opportunities.
And it's an amazing one. It really is. So that's what exploring is all about. Exploring traditionally definitely focuses on the teens, the high school students, but part of the exploring program also includes opportunities for middle school students. And we call those exploring clubs. So that's for kids who are ages 10 to 14. And it's not really an entry-level opportunity for them to really have that initial exploration and discovery of an area of interest. And there's actually studies that show that age 10 is a critical age in our lives where we're actually thinking about, well, what do we want to be when we grow up? So it's really the right moment in time, right moment in a young person's education to give those opportunities to them.
So talk a little bit about, I mentioned earlier, we have the partnership with the Velo Airlines. Talk a little bit about how that all transpired, and the video we're going to show in a little bit is going to show a video that was actually filmed by Avelo. But talk about that whole partnership with East Haven and all of that.
Yeah, that is like really a great example of when a community, an industry, and Scouts all come together, the amplifying effect that we have when we work together. Each of our organizations, whether it be the school, the business, or Scouting, is bringing something really unique to the table. And without any one of those parts, it would never really reach the potential like this example has. So there, it's a three-way partnership. We're working as the scouting organization through our Exploring program to work with the East Haven school system and Avelo Airlines, which happens to be the primary commercial airline out of the Tweed New Haven airport. And everybody involved has said, boy, this would not have been possible, with anybody else. Just doing it with the scouts, doing it with the school system, where the superintendent is very forward-thinking, very innovative, and Avelo really bringing some great resources. And I think, as you're going to see in the video, some amazing opportunities. They flew the students to Orlando, Florida, just for one day, there and back, to have an opportunity to fly on the same flight simulators that professional pilots are trained on. And that was just an absolutely amazing experience that I just don't think would ever be possible.
If you think about these kids being 10 to 14 years old, many of them are coming from backgrounds where they really don't have a lot of opportunity, and for them to be able to get these experiences is really, really amazing.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say one thing that is also worth mentioning, because I don't know that it's so much in the video, but also Sikorsky Aircraft has been a huge supporter of this. And due to some of the security factors with their facility, you can't film. So they're not so much in the video, but it's really worth mentioning that they really also really helped a lot. And by giving the explorers a chance to tour that facility and see all the different stations and all the different tasks and all the different talents and skills and types of people that have to come together to build a helicopter was really also very enlightening.
Yeah, I bet it is. So if you're interested in getting your teen or your preteens into exploring, call the council office and Paul will point you in the right direction.
I'll be happy to help.
We will show the video here in a second, but I do want to remind you this is the first hour that we're doing the Avelo tickets, and this is part of our partnership that we have with them. So the first person that is able to do $1,000 or more on the donation, which is going to be sponsoring 2 youth in the program, you will get a pair of Avelo tickets that are good anywhere they fly, including their new route to Puerto Rico, and also no blackout, and it includes all the additional fees that you might encounter. So a really, really good deal. So thank you, Paul, for being part of this. I know you've been in 3 segments. I think this is your final segment for the day. So we're going to roll it back to the crew, and we're going to have them roll the video. See you.
The aerospace sector is one of the fastest growing industries in the U.S., employing over 1 million people. In December 2022, Avelo Airlines partnered with Southern Connecticut's East Haven Public School District and the Boy Scouts of America Co-ed Exploring Program to inspire the next generation of aerospace leaders. In the first program of its kind in the U.S.,
every time I see a plane take off or land, it flies right over my house. And I'm always like, wow, I wish I could be right there when it takes off.
As I was younger, I wanted to join the Air Force because I've always wanted to fly.
I never knew before the open house that there were so many job opportunities in aviation besides being a pilot and flight attendant.
Being a member of the Aviation Explorers program is extremely important to me.
And since we're in aviation, how do we inspire the next generation of aviation?
If you don't know what you can be, you need to be told sometimes.
I want to see what's in the front, I think that would be kind of cool to see how the captain flies the plane.
That's what inspired me when I was a kid to become a pilot, is sitting up there in that seat and having the pilots show me the airplane and just spend that just rather 60 seconds. Changed the whole outcome of my life.
They visited the cockpit, they visited the cabin, they did a walk around the exterior of the craft. They met with TSA.
The whole airport runs with so many different people. So we need people on the ramp, we need people that are gate agents. So it's really important that our youth understand that aviation is an option.
Good morning, everyone. We'd like to welcome the Aviation Career Exploration from the East Haven Middle School here with us today.
Going to a simulator that pilots get to use, but not every pilot gets to use the simulator. Pretty special.
This is a huge deal, actually. It's pretty impressive. They didn't know what to expect. And I think they're just so overwhelmed and excited by how much awesome stuff they're getting out of it.
They're getting an opportunity to take off, fly around, and land, and just see what a pilot in training experiences.
We're at the Robinson Aviation Center, and we're going to experience what it's like to actually fly a 4-seater plane.
We need to leave our comfort zone too, to let our children grow and experience new things and take the opportunities as they come along.
And from the cockpit, you could actually see everything that's going on.
They all walk away with something that they didn't have before, and that is an unbelievable sense of accomplishment and confidence that I could do anything.